The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is September 27th, 2018. This week, couch potato coaching and the 5G future. My name is Basil.
And this is Gonz. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about fringe news with Canary Cry views. That will certainly be the case this week, Basil, but you want to jump right in with some updates?
Yeah, give me some cloning updates.
Human cloning updates. This is evolutionnews.org, written by Wesley J. Smith, who was in the film Inhuman. Mass human cloning may soon be upon us. Human cloning has been accomplished, but the field remains generally stalled because of a shortage of human eggs, one needed per cloning attempt, and eggs for use in research are hard to come by. The impediment may soon be overcome. Scientists have changed human blood cells into immature egg cells. The next step should go even farther, eventually allowing for the eventual mass lab creation of eggs capable of being fertilized or used in cloning.
Wow.
And basically, he gets into some things about how, the ethical concerns are there, but the conversations aren't taking place. There are things already taking place like CRISPR that most of you guys probably know about. We've covered the 3 parent embryos that are being created in the labs. Artificial life forms being created with no predicate in creation or evolution.
Wow.
Which is an interesting argument, right? It's not just creation, it's creation and evolution. It's unnatural even in the evolutionary sense.
Right.
And then researchers are putting human stem cells into mouse brains and making other forms of chimeric lab animals. The list goes on. Yet there are few concerted national and international discussions outside of the research community to find ways to govern these experiments or to draw firm boundary lines. Indeed, other than some government funding restrictions,
Right.
Scientists are generally ethically bound by their own consciences, which is unacceptable.
Well,
so that's where we're at right now.
It's very interesting because there are regulations in place, and most of it is predicated on funding. But for instance, to get a hold of some eggs, say you want to get some human eggs to kind of mess around with and do some stuff with, I mean, that's very highly regulated. There's even regulations like I don't even think you can necessarily just donate your own eggs. I think there's a bunch of loops you got to jump or hoops to jump through to do that. So the part that was really fascinating to me is that they found, they switched their research for a while there to figure out how to just create their own eggs so they can continue their human cloning experiments. They found a way to create their way around regulations.
Yeah, eventually they're going to run out of ways to create.
It's all these mad scientists just like, oh, you want to try to regulate us? You cannot regulate us. We are as gods. And then the rest is downhill.
We will make our own stem cells.
Right. We'll make our own human eggs. So there you go, Gonz. Actually, I brought something to the table here too. Very reliable source I'm hearing from the Daily.
Adding to the conversation.
Yes, the dailystar.co.uk. One of the most prestigious dirt rags in the UK. Stem cell bank working on clones of celebrity body parts for surgery. That's right. Experts say clients could one day swap their backsides for Kim Kardashians or exchange their feet for a top footballers. Researchers at STEM Project based on London. Oh, such a
not in London, on London.
Such a great editorial board they have over there at the Daily Star.
The AI hasn't quite figured out the proper verbiage.
The researchers at STEM Project, based on London, are building on a genetic breakthrough by storing client stem cells. They will then use what they call therapeutic cloning to grow body parts, such as kidneys or lungs, or for those suffering from life-threatening conditions. But they haven't ruled out the possibility of one day cloning celeb bits and bots for aesthetic purposes. And it goes on, but you get the point. Creepy. I know. But keep in mind, it could all be fake because this is the Daily Star.
is to just look pretty.
And make good parts.
No other reason.
Make good parts so we can sell them. Commodifying the human body, baby. But Gons, moving on to the real news. Are you ready for the real news? I thought this was very credible. I thought this okay, yeah, go ahead. No. I'm going to go over to our good friend businessinsider.com. And
back to real people
news
outlets apparently. Allegedly,
yes. At least more businessy looking websites, we'll call it. I'll go that far. Okay. This I loved hearing. It makes me love the time period that I'm living in. I mean, just here we go. The article headline reads, parents are paying as much as $35 an hour for Fortnite coaches for their kids. That's right, folks. All you old timers who don't know what Fortnite is, it is one of the video games that's currently at the top of the list. Your kids may be playing it. And when I say kids, I mean your 35-year-old kids might be playing this. Because it is this game has taken the world by storm. Gons, we've reported in the past on esports possibly coming to the Olympics coming very soon. And those who don't know, we've mentioned it before. The esports, which is video game sport events, if you can call them that. I mean, the industry has far surpassed $1 billion industry. So this is the way that we're going. And here we go. Business Insider. The same way some kids get music or tennis lessons, the Wall Street Journal has found several parents who pay private Fortnite Battle Royale coaches to help their kid excel at the popular video game. By the way, I had to search and find this article on Business Insider because it originally was posted at the Wall Street Journal, and I have yet to break down and pay to read an article on the Wall Street Journal. So I'm pretty sure Business Insider just copied and pasted this whole article. So here you go.
Good job. Thank you, Business Insider.
Quote, there's pressure not to just play it, but to be really good at it, one mother from Winchester, England, told the Journal. Quote, you can imagine what that was like for him at school. The Fortnite... Gosh, I'm just so filled with joy right now. The Journal spoke with several parents who have paid for private Fortnite lessons for their children. Some of those parents are hoping that their kids will turn their hobbies into lucrative esports careers, a college scholarship, or at least a slight of Fortnite developer Epic Games' $100 million competitive prize pool.
Oh.
Woo! Parents typically
$100 million.
I know. Parents typically find Fortnite coaches for their children through social media or contracting sites. There are also dedicated coaching marketplaces like the Gamer Sensei, which charges between $15 and $35 an hour for Fortnite lessons. This new trend comes as a surprise to even the coaches, according to the report, because until recently, the only people investing in video game coaching were adult enthusiasts or young people aspiring to go pro. Quote, my dad would have never paid for me to take video game lessons. Logan Werner, an 18-year-old Fortnite coach and professional gamer in Utah, told WSJ. But the parents shelling out for these lessons say that the practice is no different than investing in private tutors to help their children succeed in other activities like basketball or chess. Social media seems to think otherwise. Many Twitter users are disdainful of the idea, even as it's clear that it's a sign of the times. Somebody's tweet here. Look, I like video games and all, and have called myself a gamer, but trainers for kids to get them better at Fortnite, that's some serious dystopian future stuff. Well, let me tell you, at Estisser, that's why it's on this show. Here, this is from Rep Mike Gallagher. This is a rep of something. Who is Mike Gallagher? He sounds familiar. Is this a senator or something? Anyways, dear addicted gamers and your parental enablers, this is stupid. Get offline, go outside, talk to humans, or read a book. Okay.
Talk to humans.
You sound like a grumpy man.
Why does it seem like that line is going to become more literal in the next years? And
here's the thing, parents. let me turn my folding chair backwards and sit on it and give you a rundown.
You turn around.
Yeah, this is
I see you with your hat on backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Let's wrap for a second. We all know that I enjoy my video games. I recently became more honest and open about my enjoyment and my long history with video games. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard. That being said, I do recognize this as a major shift in the times that we're living in. But here's the thing. Professional video games, like I mentioned earlier, is a huge business. I have friends in that business, and you would not believe so one stat, this guy, he's a Twitch streamer. All he does is get on, play video games, and it streams for people to like watch, right? That's all he does. Mm-hmm. He does it like 6 hours a day or something. So he treats it like a job. You would not believe the number I'm about to tell you. The number I'm about to tell you is impossible to comprehend, but this is the true fact. This guy Ninja plays video games 6 hours a day for people to watch. He makes $500,000 a month doing this. Yeah, baby. This is why parents are paying for coaches.
It's an investment.
It's an investment in a future. I mean, the industry is such as the NBA or any professional sports league. The money is there. And that's more, I mean, that's like Kobe Bryant money this guy is making playing video games 6 hours a day, and significantly easier. And on top of that, these guys get sponsorships from companies. I mean, it's full on.
I don't know, this is good for society, Basil.
Dude, I'm going to become a video game. I could become a video game coach. Not Fortnite. I'm super bad at Fortnite. I tried. It's not my game. But
I have not tried yet.
Yeah, no, don't bother. It's just filled with kids. It's not that fun, actually. There's other games that you can do this with. But I mean, that's where we're at now. That's my excitement. Gons, you want to bring me down a little bit? Do you have some? You want to like side with the old people?
Are you ready to become cyborg?
That's my first thought.
Yeah, totally.
But it's difficult. I see both sides of it. I feel like I'm one foot in the sand, 1 foot in the water type thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously that it is where the world is headed. But everything we look at suggests that, as this becomes more of a thing, we're already seeing kind of like health problems and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, get out and exercise and stuff. This doesn't promote that. This is like counter to all that sort of like, keep human contact an important part of your life and all these things that we're trying to like maintain as part of our humanity, if you will.
Totally.
But at the same time, I understand the draw. It's where people are at. It's
what the kids want to be doing. It's what they're passionate about,
And to be honest, it's where the gospel is going to have to reach somehow.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how that looks like, and that's probably why we're here talking about it.
There's well-known documented instances of people bringing the gospel to video game worlds. Here's what I like about this, because of course, if we compare it to like basketball or sports and stuff like that, like, yeah, of course, it's better to get out and exercise and learn, team skills. Although it could be argued that team skills are built in video games too. I would defend that idea.
Me too. There's group games and stuff that you need cooperation.
Here's the thing. This isn't for every kid. I mean, I liked in this article where they talked about, it's as if you get a private tutor for basketball or chess. I mean, some kids are chess kids, and those chess kids, they're not going to be going out and playing basketball. I mean, you're going to have parents or, there's the classic, stereotypical father, like, what are you doing with that board game? Get out and throw the old pigskin around, which is, it's just a classic sort of American trope. But the kid just wants to sit and play chess or do debate team or something like that. And a lot of those skills do transfer over to video games. I won't call it a mission, but I do have a passion for like helping parents understand the video game culture.
Sure.
And I'll go.
And it's a cerebral thing. It is.
There is strategy. There is critical thinking. There is hand-eye coordination. There is. Now, here's some bad things. I mean, traditionally, video game culture or internet culture as a whole, kind of breeds antisocial behavior. Kind of where you can say anything you want, you can taunt people, you can use horrible language, you can express, racism and stuff, and you're all behind this veil of technology. You're just an avatar, and you have your fake like gamer name, right? So it does leave open, and this is something I've had to think about for my own future children, which is like, I'm very passionate. I get out, I do sports. I got stuff, not necessarily basketball or anything like that, but I do a lot of outdoor activity as well. But I would be so pumped to like sit down with my kid and be like, yeah, let's play around Overwatch or something. It's good bonding. It's good. There is good team building skills. There's all sorts of good stuff, but you really got to avoid the whole, what we saw in Gamergate, where the underlying culture that happens on the internet that's paired with anonymity, it just breeds bad behavior.
Right.
And I think that's something that people are still figuring out. Parents are still figuring out. And someday I'll be a parent and I'll have to figure that out as well. And I'm not saying I recognize that as a downside to this whole thing. But back to the story at hand, coaching to get your kid to a professional level is a legitimate like future investment in your child's career. I just can't believe I'm saying that right now. 2018 is a crazy year, man.
Yeah, well, it's the result of so many things that we've seen, kind of come to a head, converge in so many ways. But I think it's interesting that a lot of our expressions, like the way we want to express things, it's expanded, but it's still kind of it's in this controlled environment now.
Yeah,
like the whole virtual space, which has this illusion of freedom because you can do a lot more, or perceive a lot more, the way you look or what you can do, how you move, and everything else, and how you can affect the world and all kinds of stuff. It's I don't know, man. And it's very human still,
Yes.
And I think we've brought it up before, but we kind of do live in this in between. I'm not going to say golden age in like the literal sort of esoteric sense, but just in the video game sense where we're not totally, the microchip phone, whatever, it's not in our head yet, as it will be as some people accept that.
You can still disconnect.
You can still disconnect and walk away from the platform or the phone or whatever. But we can experience all the benefits of some of those technologies of expression and things like that. So we're in this interesting phase, and it's hard because it is an ever changing landscape, and there are pockets of positive things and negative things that are happening and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
This is just another realm that's coming up, more, surfacing in a different medium, but really it doesn't change how we respond and how we, react to celebrity culture and that sort of stuff. It's all the same. It's just a different medium.
Yeah, no. And I totally get it. And where we see the world going with the stuff that we track, I mean, it very well be in our lifetime Gons that most of a human being's time, or at least they have the option to spend most of their time in some sort of digital,
in the Oasis.
Yeah, right. In the Oasis from Ready Player One. That may be a thing. And the thing is, the people who are going to thrive in that environment, whether it's a choice or not being in that environment, the people who are going to thrive there are the people who sort of embrace this digital world ahead of time.
Right.
And,
they know how
we still have time to steer away from it. But if it does end up being that's the way that the world goes, it's the kid who had a Fortnite coach as a kid who's going to be, really thriving in that environment,
or thriving in the new military wars that will take.
Oh
place.
yeah, no, these kids are going to be great soldiers for sure. All right, Gons.
Avatar soldiers.
Speaking of the beast system,
Speaking of the beast system.
Speaking of the beast system. Beast system.
Politico.com. This is actually, we don't usually do this kind of thing, but this is a sponsored article in Politico. 5G is ready to reshape our world if we're ready for it. And it's got a spinning Earth with what are these, like, nodes? What are they called?
I don't know, just like digital flotsam and jetsam flying around it.
Yeah,
it's a globe. They're showing a globe here, so the deception is real.
The fifth generation of wireless transmission technology, informally known as 5G, is one of the more exciting developments to hit the tech world in a long time. For starters, you'll have much faster transmission speeds and more responsive devices.
My device is fine, but okay.
But that's just a start, Basil.
Tell me more.
A lot more. Quote, 5G is about releasing a whole new generation of innovation, says Sandra Rivera, Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Network Platforms Group at Intel. Rivera says the advances engendered by 5G technology will enable the creation of entirely new business and revenue models, many of which we're just beginning to imagine. Just imagine, Basil.
That's spooky, man. That's a spooky statement.
Anything you want, Basil.
I don't know how faster phones will bring new business and revenue models, but okay.
Limited just by your imagination. Okay, Intel is moving quickly to advance the rollout of this technology, participating in more than 25 5G trials across the globe, including the first fixed wireless trial in the US and Texas, the first virtual reality experience over 5G at the Indy 500 in Indiana, the first 5G 4K golf broadcast at the US Open in New York, the first 5G connected car in Japan, the first 5G smart stadium in China, and the first broad-scale 5G development at the 2018 Olympics.
Ooh, watch out. The Olympics, that's where they're always testing out this cancer machine.
Well, they already did it. 2018 Olympics already happened, so This already took place. Simultaneously, wireless carriers are rolling out mobile 5G trials across the U.S. with full deployment expected around 2020. And it goes into an interview with Rivera, and I won't get into every aspect of this here, but some places to highlight here. The question, let's talk about policy. If you were sitting down with members of Congress, what would you say to them? How can our government help foster innovation to pave way for 5G? And she stated, quote, "To me, 5G allows a whole new generation of innovators to do great work. So my questions to them would be, how do we lower the barriers to entry in order to increase market participation? How can we accelerate the pace of innovation?" That line right there stuck out to me because there was another guy that I documented, and I don't have the notes, my notes in front of me, but in my is 5G Trump's new world order video that I made it like a year ago. Mm-hmm. It documents a guy from the EPA basically saying, like, we will not, no regulation will slow down innovation. He was very adamant, almost like a war cry. It was pretty nuts. Yeah. So it's like the same sentiment here. And then it says, what can the private sector do together with our government to make that possible? So there's another like, oh yeah, what can we do together? No, it's not so much, bad. It's just together.
I clicked over into this, the 5G effect, your 5G business opportunity. They put together a little infographic to try to hype up all the entrepreneurs about how 5G will just change the way we do business, blah, blah, blah. And I just read through this whole thing. I mean, it's a long, fancy infographic. They probably spent about 15 grand making it. And it's just over and over. All it's saying is it's faster. It's just faster internet. That's all this is. Like, there's nothing.
This is.
Do you have a business on the internet? Well, this will make it better. And there's a big they're making a big deal about really IoT, self-driving cars. The sort of automated.
Yeah, I know.
The automated experience is faster.
I know, but here's the thing. what's a potential use of 5G that might surprise people?
Nothing.
Things like agriculture.
Right.
Quote, this ability to really collect and aggregate all the data on a smart farm and make good business decisions about how you optimize the productivity and the output for that farm.
But you can already do that on 4G.
Likewise, you can have sensors on your livestock that keep track of each individual animal so you can make intelligent decisions about their changing health and environmental conditions.
You can
Basil,
still
don't
do
you want to
that.
chip all your swine?
You can still do that with existing technology. But okay, I mean, that's fine. Whatever. What do they say about cancer rates?
But on 5G.
What do they say about scrambled brains? No, here's the thing.
5G.
I actually don't know much about 5G. A lot of other people have done a lot better research. My understanding is that it's just a little bit, allegedly is a little bit too intense for human bodies. But man, if Intel says it's fine, what am I to say?
Well, so according to Sharon K. Gilbert, there are studies that have been done on rats who use the same 5G technology, where it actually unravels their DNA.
Yeah.
And then when they're not exposed to it, their DNA, it repairs itself. But the point being, like, if you're constantly being bombarded by it, that's when it's like you're just going to melt.
Well, that's the point.
Fall apart.
The point is, we already know that electromagnetic waves and radio waves cause damage to DNA in particular. And so there's just like, this is the regular kind, only more. So it's like, of course it's going to be more. But it's only more
of everything. Nobody's talking about. Well, I mean, there is good research that it's not good for you, but yes, it is just more of the same. But it's getting to that level where it's really unhealthy.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it's more of the same with the same thing. It's like, it's just more faster, way more faster, bro. Yep. But it's also more deadly because it's more faster. I think everyone's saying the same thing, just a different part of the pancake.
We get it. We just got to start a clothing line that's lined with lead. So that's going to be my next business idea. Everybody look out for it. Yep. So I think that's about it. Guns. I got to tell you about something. Have you heard about this? Have you seen this? This is patreon.com. Here's an article from patreon.com. No, patreon.com/CCNT. We are going to be doing a whole nother episode right now. If you guys want to hear about more, such as the Beyonce's ex-drummer file for a restraining order alleging extreme witchcraft. Oh boy. Or the ethics of transhumanism and the cult of the futurist biotech. And be talking a little bit about infanticide in Norway. And so, hey, if you guys want more, double your fun, you can head over to patreon.com/CCNT. And while you're at it, if you got friends out there who are just not quite paying attention, go on out there, rattle some cages.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
Are you ready to become cyborg?
That's right, folks. Go ahead, go out there, rattle some cages, tell your friends, and make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage. Storm is coming.